Hello nail friends, and welcome back to another Honey Doll Nails video. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so that you may be notified of all future videos. Hello nail friends, how are you today? I hope that you are doing well. Today I'm going to be recreating this set of beautiful Caribbean beach nails. Now, I created these nails a couple of months ago, and I decided to make a full set, a short set, and a long set. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be showing you how I created these nails 3 different ways using 3 different types of blue and pink polish. Of course, you see here, I have some water droplets inside of this nail. I also have netting drawn on the outside of this nail. Now, all the nails are jelly see-through, but some of them I have put on a little extra embellishments, and some of them I use some sea glass, pink and blue. I use blooming nail gel polish. We're going to be talking about that in a minute. And I also use some Aurora top coat in pink and blue as well. Just for some enhancements. Now, this Aurora top coat can also be used as a base coat as well as a top coat. It's up to you. Depending on how many layers you put on of any of these polishes, you will get 3 different looks, as you can see. As you can see. All right, so we have a pinky nail with some blue gel and pink ink blobs. I also have the Aurora blue and pink and the see-through sea glass blue and pink. And the pink nails are mixed with the sea glass and the Aurora to come up with the pink. Okay, so we're going to be starting on this short set that I have not polished. We're going to start from the very beginning. And we're going to be starting with the pinky nail first. Down in the description box below, I will leave a link to all the polishes and of course where I got them from. For those of you that have been following the channel for a while, you know that at one time I was stuck on Lily Cute. Not anymore, but I was. So here we have 2 different types of blooming. We have blooming gel and we have blooming nail gel. Now that is 2 different things, totally. The blooming gel is to bloom out any polish. The blooming nail polish is like a watercolor. So like an ink colors, and some people use alcohol with it to spread the ink out. So that's what you're looking at. And I'm going to use these 2 together. But first, I just wanted you to see the difference in the 2. So this polish came from a kit that I bought from a cart back in 2000, probably 2020, like 2020 is when I purchased it. Didn't really know how to work it, but the ink gels come in green, blue, pink, a yellow, a gold, and a lead like a black. So you can see I have already done my nails that I have on right now. As I'm doing this demonstration, I used the gold, the yellow, and the lead to come up with the design that I have on my nails presently. Now, one thing I have to say is when you're using these ink gels, you have to be very careful because it's easy to knock over. And once you knock it over, it's like spilled milk, you can't get it back because it just spills everywhere. So I would suggest that you sit it down inside of something if you were going to use it. Even if you're holding it, you could spill it. And as you can see, it does have a little leakage situation, so I do try to wipe it off every time I use it. For our pinky nail, we are going to be using this sea glass blue. And I'm only going to be putting on 1 coat. Now, let me say this. Depending on how many coats you put on will determine how opaque the polish will be. So say for instance, you put that on and you thought it was just too light. So once you cure it underneath the dryer, your lamp, your UV lamp, then you can come back here with another coat. But for this particular design, because I wanted to bring up the blue, once my original polish is dry, then I'm going to just go in and I'm going to polish the nail with this ink gel. So I'm just going to just polish it. And if by chance, if you happen to put on too much of it, you could just grab an alcohol wipe and just wipe some of it off, because it is a stain. So even if you just put on a little bit and you wiped it, it would still stain it. So just be aware of that. But like I said, as you can see, you can just keep layering it up and it'll get bluer and bluer, but it's still going to be see-through. So you can use these blooming gel polishes to actually polish the nail with, or you could use it with blooming gel and you can move it around and get a different type of look altogether. So I am going to be using some gradients in this particular design. So I'm using my big, huge gradient brush. It's a regular paint brush. It's very big, but I like to use big brushes. For me, it saves time. Now, I am not the best when it comes down to actually drawing stuff, but my interpretation of it is good, in my opinion. So when I'm drawing any of the lines, or if I'm drawing like a seascape, or if I'm drawing palm trees, I just try to see the palm tree in my mind. And then when I put it down on the nail, it is totally my interpretation. Sometimes it comes out good, sometimes it does not. So I put on the pink sea glass, and now I'm putting on the blue sea glass. And then I'm going to merge them together with the gradient brush. Now, there's no need for me to show you every time I did the technique. I did it 3 times. I did this technique 3 times because this is the nail that's going to have the netting on it and the water droplets underneath. So I wanted it to have a really good opaque look. So I did it 3 times. All right, so our next nail is going to be our palm tree nail. I'm going to be using the 2-in-1 Aurora top coat. And like I said, it's 2-in-1 because you can use it as a base or a top. Today, I'm going to be using it as a base. Now, this polish is extremely thick. Check this out. But the good thing about it is if you know how to dilute your gels, you can dilute it and get every drop out of the bottle. So I definitely plan on diluting this gel to get all of it out because it's a very beautiful color. So I suggest that when you purchase this, it was like 98 cents. $1.15 at the most. I suggest you buy 4, 5, 6, maybe even a dozen, because the bottles are so small. If you're into auroras, if you're into rainbow gradients and stuff like that, but you want the polish to do all the work, these are definitely the polishes for you. They had all different colors. They even had like an orangey and greenish ones and gold. So I'm going to do it 3 times. You don't have to, because like I said, the more you do it, the more opaque it will become. So once you put on the top part, whatever you're going to ombre it with, and then you gradient it together with a brush. You put it underneath the dryer, you let it dry in your UV lamp, and then you come back and do it again. You're going to repeat that process again and again until it brings up the color that you like. So for this particular nail design, I'm going to be doing a palm tree. I don't want it to be as heavy as the other ones were. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing is probably just doing one coat. And then you definitely want to wipe off the corners when it comes down to this specific type of gel because it's thick. And then of course I wipe some of it off because my nails are long. So I'm going to go back in with the gradient brush and pull down on the sides. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the middle nail here, which is going to be our embellishment nail. The first coat that I put down was the pink sea glass. Then after I put that down, then I put on the pink Aurora top coat. So I'm going to do the same thing for the thumb. In the original set, I did this embellishment nail and the thumb the same color, but on this one I'm going to change it up and I'm going to do sea glass blue on the thumb, and I'm going to do the Aurora 2-in-1 blue for the top coat. So I'm just going to sit back and let you watch me do the set, and I'll come back when I get ready to draw on the nails. Okay, in order for us to understand what I'm saying, let me just say this: all white is not made equal. I have so many different types of whites. I was using this schizoid, but I really think that you should try to use the most opaque white that you can find when it comes down to doing this design, because in the end you're going to be using a base coat to seal it, but you're also going to be using matte to bring up the color. So even though the background is looking wet, like the sky and then the water, I definitely wanted the palm tree to look dry and realistic. So whenever you want your creation to look dry and realistic, it's good to do both a shiny top coat and a matte top coat. Matte top coat on what you're trying to define. So I really didn't like this white because it was a little runny, and it really didn't give me the opaque look that I wanted. So eventually I do go back over it again with D&D French white. So here I am going to totally change the way that I normally would make my palm tree. So I am making the trunk very wide, and I'm making the stems of the leaves like spider legs. So I'm just pulling it out. Normally when I do my palm trees, I try not to do more than 4 to 5 leaves. But it's up to you. You can make the whole nail a palm tree if you want to. And instead of making the palm tree white, you could do green. You could even do black, blue, pink. It doesn't really matter what color it is. It's your design. So let me take the time to say thank you to all of the subscribers that have been with me from the beginning. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I did receive some new subscribers over the summer, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you for all the questions that you had on the designs, even in some past videos. I do appreciate that. And I hope that your summer was good. So far, my summer has been pretty good. It's been hot and stormy here in North Carolina. We had a lot of weather to come through, which is hurricane season, so that's normal for us. But still, we had some tornadoes that come through my town. I thank God no one got hurt or injured. To lose a home, to lose a vehicle, to lose cars, that stuff is materialistic. It can be replaced. But when you lose your loved one in a storm or a hurricane or something like that, it's devastating. So I just thank God that no one in my community got hurt. Okay, back to the nails. So now I am about to do the netting on the nail. It's basically self-explanatory. You just take your time and you make your netting. If you can, try to make your lines as slim and small as possible. Even if that means that you have to take some bristles out of the brush. So you can get like a old brush and cut some of the bristles out of it so that your lines won't be so thick. But it's up to you. If you want to make thick lines, make thick lines. I just wanted to make the netting spaced out because underneath the netting we're going to be doing some water droplets. And you definitely don't want to overdo the netting because you want the water droplets to be able to be seen through the netting. So after doing lines on one side, I'm going to turn the nail around and connect on the opposite side. And then when you're done with that, you're going to go in the opposite direction with your line. So your lines will be crossed. I really enjoyed doing this set. It was a little tedious for me, but I do understand that everybody cannot wear XXLs. You know, everybody can't wear these ballerinas or even these long stilettos because of injuries that have been ensued in the past. And so clients would like to get longer nails even when they go on vacations, but the injuries were just too much for some clients. So I decided that not only when I get ready to do my demos, because most of my demos are on very long nails because I can demonstrate what I'm doing better on a longer nail, but it's also more realistic if I take my time and make short sets. So not only will I be making long sets, but we'll be making short sets too. So when you give your client a set of nails, you can ask them if they want a shorter set, the same design. If anything, it's only going to make you more money. So now I'm just going to take my lining brush and I'm going to go around the edge of the nail. I'm going to try to make the smallest line I can make to connect everything together. Okay, so just take your time and try to get as close as you can to the edge. I was so close to the edge. My striping brush wasn't really touching it. And I thought I was on the line, but I wasn't. So just when it comes down to oval nails, you just have to angle your brush. So you see what I mean? I wasn't even on it. I was underneath it. Now we're going to move on to the next step, which is the thumb. And like I said, I'm going to be using blooming gel on top of blooming gel. So I'm going to take a thin coat of my blooming gel and I'm going to cover the whole entire nail. Try not to put too much on because it'll pull and wrinkle. So for those of you that have never used blooming gel before, when you use it, just put on the thinnest coat that you possibly can. And then I'm going to dab down. Now you see it's nothing happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swirl it. That gave me what I wanted. And then I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to swirl that again. Now on top of this, my flowers are going to go on top of this. Here is a longer nail that I have already done, and I'm going to be demonstrating how I did my flowers. Now, there are many different videos on TikTok, Instagram, even Facebook, all over social media on how you make these flowers. I tried. It doesn't work for me. They say make two little dots and pull them together. I just couldn't do it that way. So this is my technique. I hope it will help someone. The flowers came out good in the end. You just have to trust the process. So I put some gel on the tip of my dotting tool and you see the flowers coming together. Just pull them. Just pull them. If that doesn't look right when you do it, just wipe it off. That's why it's always good to wipe off the nail before you start drawing on it. I don't say that enough because sometimes I can make that mistake. I'll go to draw on a nail and the nail will be so slippery. It's supposed to wipe off the nail. So after you finish putting all of the polish that you're going to put on it, then you seal it with your base coat. Then you wipe the nail off. And then after you wipe the nail off, then you can draw on it. Now, some people use matte. Some people put matte on the nail and then they draw on it. That makes it easier to draw on the nail too. But after I finish with my dotting tool, then I'm going to take my striping brush and I'm going to detail these flowers when I'm done. but this is the beginning of the flowers. You just make a couple of dots wherever you want them to be, not too close together. And then I just pull down. I circle and down, circle and down. And the flowers, they come together. Because all that other stuff is like, oh my God, it's so tedious. Maybe if I was an artist, to draw people's faces and have the details and the eyes and everything like that, then I would be more inclined to be more detailed. But it's not that serious for me. So as you can see, I just took the striping brush and just pull it in and make it more realistic. And then I'm going to, I forgot what you call this little piece. That sticks out the top of the flower. But anyway, somebody put it down in the description box because I forgot what it's called. Help me out, somebody. Okay, so that's how I did that. So now that that's done, now we're going to do the water droplets in the inside of the nails. So let me say, when you get ready to put your water droplets in, it all depends on what size nail you have, because you're only going to be putting the water droplets in the free edge. The free edge is the part that grows out of the nail. So the part that's covering your nail when you stick it on, the part that the glue goes on and you stick it, that, do not put any water droplets on that part. Let me just say it like that. Put the water droplets down the tip, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Now, when I do my water droplets, I use top coat because I don't want to go back over it and have to polish over base coat. I want a one and done situation when it comes down to my water droplets. And I want these water droplets pretty big. Now, once you put your water droplets in, I suggest that you do one or two at a time and do them in the opposite way. So put one up, one down. And then put it into the lamp and let that dry. Once that's dry, then you go on to the next two or three. But I would not suggest that you try to do them all at one time because they'll run together. Unless you got something that's just gonna stay put when you put it there. So I'm just putting it underneath the lamp for a hot second. 10 seconds. That's the reason why your lamp has a 10-second. So you can just quickly cure it and get back to work. All right, so I'm gonna do the little nail and I'm gonna show you what will happen if you put two bigger globs in there. So let me just do it so I can show you. I'm gonna put two big globs. I'm not gonna even think about what I'm doing. And guess what? It already ran together. So if you wanna make the proper size drops and you're not good at doing it freehand like I like to do freehand, then I suggest that you use your dotting tool. The dotting tool comes in many different sizes. Some of the dotting is very, very small. So for this particular nail, I would have to use the smallest dotting tool that I have. Because you see it just ran together. So with that 10-second cure, you can, like say if you put it underneath the dryer and it just ran together. This is what you do. You lift it up and take it off. Now, that's why I said just do 10-second and pull it out. You look at it and see if it's run together, then you know you need to redo it. And this is what the droplets should look like when they're cured. Now, only thing you have to do is take your small dotting tool and put some little ones in between. So it will look like real bubbles under the water. All right, so next I'm going to do some pink blobs on the pinky. Now you see how it's opening like that? Because after the blue was dry, I put some base coat on it and the base coat was still wet. And then I dropped my little pink watercolors in there and it spread perfectly. Next, we're going to be doing our embellishments. This part is pretty self-explanatory, so sit back and watch this, and I'll be back at the end of the video. All right, so now that that is all done, our next step is to put on our shine. Now you can look at the nails as I'm moving them around. You can see that they got a little shimmer shine to them, like a reflection. And this is what we're going to be using, this reflector powder. And I'm not going to put it on every nail, but there are a few nails that I will be putting them on. Our next step is going to be our matte top coat. This is the end of these beautiful set of nails. We finally finished. I know this video was pretty long, but I did not want to miss any steps. If you decided that you wanted to maybe recreate one of these nails or maybe all of them, I didn't want to miss any steps. So after you finish everything, then you're going to bring out the nails with your matte top coat. So after you have top coated everything, sealed everything, the last thing you're going to do is take a little brush and go over the parts that you want to be matte with your matte top coat. Take your time because this is going to be a raised nail, because anytime you're putting on any type of gel with any type of striping brush, you're going to get a raised situation. So the more I did it, the more the nail became raised. And of course, if you like matte top coat like I do, it feels like velvet. It feels great. So some of the nails were shiny, some of them had a raise to them, some of them had a little bit of matte top coat, which gave them that velvet feel. And it was just a beautiful set to make. I honestly have to say that I enjoyed every moment of it, even though it took me almost 4 hours. Here is the reveal. Nails came out absolutely beautiful. I hope that you enjoyed this video, nail friends. God bless you all. Please let me inspire you to create your 3-way set. Tag me. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and all of our social media pages. And until I see you again, nail friends, have a wonderful and blessed day.